TV 47 weekend edition, and straight to that beautiful piece. In February 2019, more than 3,000 Maasai gathered to witness elders publicly declare an end to FGM in Loita, a historic milestone that has since bore fruits for Morijo and for Kenya, and in this spirited movement to end the harmful tradition. Despite the gains, shadows of FGM still linger, signaling conflicting positions between customary and civil laws. Now, that's where, we're introduced to help the end of the vice. Linda Alela, and that is me, visited this community that decries of the government's approach in helping them break the FGM blade. Stakeholders say there is need for deep sensitization to help the community fully end the cut. Let's take a look at this piece. My camera person and I have traveled all the way to Narok County. We receive a grand welcome to this culture. What is interesting is that we haven't met any lady yet. Traditionally, it is the men that make such grand welcome, perhaps for security purposes, lest they welcome an enemy. All right, so time to taste it, and I'm like, ooh, let's see. Of course, into it, but the business of the day is all about understanding the culture here, and importantly, just getting to know how the men are involving themselves in aiming away cases of gender-based violence, early marriages, female genital mutilation, because then, of course, the society is headed towards zeroing these cases. And the men here are saying that they are committed to this. We are now at home, and our minds quickly shift to the business of the day. We tell you how the Ma community's journey to shunning GBV, early marriages, FGM and the likes is unfolding. It has taken years of struggles, pioneering spirits and commitment to listening and talking openly.
It injured their productive system. And now we are not now having any demand to marry a lady who have been circumcised at any all. Because there's some things of that it has effects that we have saw or we have come across of.
Our nomadic communities have very complex cultures, so it is not going to take 100 years. It will take more than 100 years for us to implement some of these things, if at all the government and the civil society does not move fast in bringing what we could say supplementary cultures, issues that would completely change, like education, the role of women in the society, the role of boys, men in the society. It has to be understood in a very modern and postmodern way, not in a traditional way, and the replacement of, if you take away FGM, what else do you bring in? If FGM was used as the stage, as the rite of passage to become an adult, to become a woman in the society, what else? This understanding, you have to bring something else into this vacuum.
The world has a deep desire to protect the girls and allow them to flourish. In the heart of Kenya's Loita Hills, a quiet revolution is unfolding. Here among the Maasai pastoralists of Loita, centuries-old traditions are meeting the winds of change. This is the story of a community's struggle and its hope in the fight to end gender-based violence.
Sema uwezi toa sheria na mama atoe sheria. Nasema mtu mmoja atakuwa na sheria kwa familia. So tunapenda tukiongea, mama anatusikiza. But mambo ya kuchapa wa mama sasa tumeacha. Tunaelewana sasa kwa sasa, lakini kuna wale kichwa ngumu.
Unaweza pata mama amefanya kazi yake, baba ndio yeye anakuja anachukua kila kitu chake na wewe sisema kitu. Ukiongea ni vita.
They don't get equal chances of leadership. They don't get equal chances of being a child in the village. So where you find little girls being subjected to FGM and early marriages. So we have become a voice to those girls.
As MCLD, we believe that when women are empowered in all spheres, including social, economic, and political spheres, they become resilient to some of these shocks, like FGM and other forms of GBV, because then they become very informed and they are able to speak and challenge these practices.
The Ma community, particularly the Maasai, enjoy a rich culture deeply intertwined with their pastoralist lifestyle and reverence for cattle, which serve as both a vital food source and a symbol of wealth and social status.
The kids of those love wives, they are not all to be going to school. This is because they say that they believe that when I get them to go to take after the cattle, that's the way they show their love. But now those who of the servant's wife who does not love, they tell them that let them go to school for wasting time.
For generations, girls in Oltarakwe and Murijo in Loita Narok County have faced the painful rite of passage, female genital mutilation, a practice rooted deep in Maasai culture, marking the transition to womanhood.
Waliniambia nikeketwe nikakataa. Ni ile kuforce lila nilikataa.
Nearly 80% of Ma women have undergone this procedure, risking their health, their dignity, and sometimes their lives.
Damu iko important kwa mwili yako kama mafuta kwa gari. Sawa. So kama hauna damu kwa mwili, hauna nguvu, si ndio? Kama hauna nguvu, si utazimia? Ukizimia unaweza fanya nini nyingine? Damu ikiendelea kutoka, unaweza kufa. Si ndio? Na wasichana wengi, unajua watu waambia, but wasichana wengi wamekufa kutoka kwa hiyo kukeketwa, si ndio?
As if not enough, many have faced gender-based violence, their voices suppressed in the presence of men, and they have for long been denied the right to own land. That is slowly changing.
She says one girl is given land because she is physically disabled. So that means the people with disabilities have also benefited. So one of our daughters has gotten land because of that nature.
We visit two families once bound by the traditions that normalized gender-based violence. They're now leading a new path, one shaped by the transformative teachings of the church. The family of Shadrach Olorkipai and Joseph Oleseile. Though Shadrach has experienced the Ma culture firsthand, he has become liberal enough to ease the lives of the women in his life, his wife and children. In Morijo, we visit the homestead of Shadrach Kipai, who lives with a wife. They have 5 children. 3 of them are boys and 2 are girls. And so they share their story of how they have transformed from the traditional norms of the Maasai culture, in the sense that they say no to the blade, and they have decided that their girls are not going to undergo the cut. It is simply because of Christianity, as well as what has been dictated by government. But they are happy. They seem excited about shunning this vice. And of course, it is a happy home, because then you get to see the smiles that they give you, contrary to what you would expect, that most of the times the lady is under the man in the Maasai culture. So tumefurahi sana kuwatembelea. Asanteni sana kwa kutukaribisha. Vizuri, watoto wapi? Uko salama eh? They tell us the reasons why they have chosen that path. Magdalene shares her experience after the cut. She speaks to the husband in Maasai and he translates to us.
Yes, na kelelek nye imo oltung'ani kelelek oleng ketii enkerai naa kelaikino yie aitoiu tenkaraki ina siai naibung'a nyoo osesen. Mpaka neeku naa nelaikino yie aitoiu ina kerai. Ore ade elau enkerai eishunye enkerai osarge naa ina oshi pee eji otetero enche osarge nyoo tenkaraki nyoo ena siai namurata.
Vile ameshaona mwenyewe wakati nasaa anapitia mashida mingi. Amesema mnajua hiyo sehemu kikeketwa ni kama imeuka jiraha. Sasa ikawa sasa mtoto ukitokea inatokea kwa uchungu mingi. Inatokea kwa uchungu mingi. Kwa sababu
wewe
amesema nimeshaona hata wale ambao hajazaliwa kisaa. Amesema nasaa kwa rahisi sana. Kwa sababu yake inapanuka tu vizuri polepole. Na yao inagadana na katagu. Hata saa zingine anasema karibu mtoto kufie tuko.
Shadrach acknowledges that the struggles cut across. He says that the cut takes away the sexual desire for women, hence they do not get to enjoy the divine conjugal right.
Akikeketwa haitakuwa na shida yote kwa kuhusu hiyo kitu. Sio rahisi hapa ashike ama apende. Nasema ni ukweli kabisa, akikeketwa haitakuwa kama yule ambaye hajatahiriwa.
Hiyo kwa sababu imekeketwa kulala tu hiyo hakuna.
Not so far from here, there is Joseph Oleseile's home. The stories in these homes are so similar, signifying change. We find him enjoying the afternoon with his family.
Karibu watu wote hakuja kushika njia moja kupita kukataa. Kwa sababu kwa hii kanisa letu hawa mapasta ndio analeta hiyo masimamo. Mbeleni ilikuwa hata inatharauliwa na watu, lakini siku hizi ni kupichana tu kidogo. Lakini sisi kwa ajili ya kuheshimu Mungu ndio tulipata hiyo masimamo kwamba hatuwezi kupeana wasichana wetu wakiwa wadogo aolewe na kufanyia hiyo kazi ya kutahiri. Hapana, tunakataa.
Kwa sababu walipata tabia ambayo kina mama walikuwa kina mama yao. Akapata nafasi ya kujifungua.
They have visitors who equally share their experiences and why they find it liberating to end the cart.
Siwezi fanya hivyo kwa sababu sisi tulifanywa, mimi nilifanywa hivyo. Lakini watoto wangu siwezi fanya kwa sababu tuko na heshima ya Mungu. Sasa naye tuko hivyo, tunasoma Biblia. Kwa Biblia iliandikwa kijana akifikisha mwaka 8 atahiriwa, afanyiwe ushara ya atahiriwe kijana, lakini msichana hapana. Ndio si tukakubali tushike njia ya Mungu.
Wasichana mimi haishi tahiri kwa sababu nimeamini Mungu. Na nimeona pasta wengine nakaa naye anafundisha sisi wakati sisi ni wa kijana. Hata mimi nimeweka akili. Nimesema ningeenda kupata hiyo nini? Hata mimi naenda kufunja hiyo historia ya Maasai kwa sababu nimependa Mungu. Na kwa saa hii nimependa Mungu sana. Hata mimi yuko wasichana 3. Hata yuko mmoja yuko form 3. Na sijatahiri na stahiri.
They and many others tell us how girls who refused the cart were shunned, denied marriage, and their children excluded from community leadership. Stories of these families and others have sparked conversations in Morijo. Breaking the silence around FGM, the challenge is immense, clouded with deep-rooted traditions, secrecy, and stigma, all clung tightly to the practice.
Hata nyo hospitali kupelekwa hospitali sasa ni shida. Anaogopa kushikwa.
The government, maybe the solution haitakuwa only to persecute, to prosecute. Ikipata such cases, maybe itakuwa better if they actually handle the situation even beyond like rehabilitation. For the girls, when you wamesha practice, they actually follow up on the girls' education. If they come in that positive way, maybe they'll be adopted better and wakwe pia easily accessible.
Churches and NGOs in these regions, such as the AIC, have developed specialized manuals and run youth camps to educate both boys and girls about healthy relationships and the dangers of GBV.
The government also came in because the law now prohibits FGM, and so the government have given us a very strong backing because when we have people who are practicing this, we can take them to the chief's office or to the police, and they will be apprehended. That has given us leeway for us to win the battle.
I think we have made progress. If you look at the status of GBV and FGM in general, in comparison to maybe 2 decades or 3 decades ago, I think we have made progress. But even with this progress, in terms of policies and all these laws, which never used to be there, I think we still have a long way to go. We have to really keep on learning, what aren't we doing right and how can we strengthen these efforts. And that's why I'm saying that it's very important for us to really change tact. We cannot just use the legal way only to tackle this sensitive, serious cultural issue.
These programs are making a tangible difference.
Sisi tulifanya hatukuwa najua, lakini ubaya sasa ukisha jua na mnazidi tu kupatia watoto waambie tu bado. Watoto sasa isipitishwe hata dakika moja hiyo bila, kwa sababu hakuna faida, hiyo ni kubizana tu wote. Yes.
This is Oltarakwe Primary School. Community leaders, men and women, elders and warriors, children, girls and boys came together to listen, to learn and to lead.
This thing is highly stereotypic. It's just a belief that if I'm not circumcised, then I'm not clean, then I'm not blah, 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 so many things. They have got their own justifications as why they do that. Of course, they have a very long list of reasons why they do that, okay? So with education chipping in and religion, I believe we can maneuver and overcome this practice.
It's not supposed now. Let's say, Harone say that to be married to a lady is not all to be married by a Maasai. You can be married by someone else apart from Maasai.
Wanasema huwezi kuwa na kulala na wanaume wengine juu umekeketwa, hiyo ni uongo. Wanawake wako na more than 10. Sa ukiangalia hiyo reason yenye unasema ukikeketwa ndio uta reduce hiyo ni nini uongo.
Home Care International, with the support of grassroots organizations, have forged a new path, replacing the cart with a non-harmful rite of passage. Instead of knife, the pen has been passed to the girl, the power to read and write.
Even those girls who refuse to get through circumcision, they go to school, they get knowledge, and they get a certificate also in school and even in graduation.
It means for me to have to continue my study after university. I graduated to university, and then I have also to marry the ones who graduate to university for we to get to help the parents, our parents, not only my parents, but our parents.
The community has been sensitized. The parents know that it's important to also educate the girl child as it is important to educate the boy child. So wanapatiwa opportunity also to go further. Wanapewa malize form 4. And now actually the government has come in place such that ukipatikana ukimarry off a girl who's still in school, because a class 8 is still a student below 18 years. So right now it's even in the law that ukimarry off an 18-year-old girl, unachukuliwa sheria.
Other forms of power given to the girl is the right to own land, the right to have a say in community, and the beauty of interacting with their men freely. Wife buttering, fear of men, special foods for men are slowly becoming a game of the past.
Juzi tulipokuwa hapa, muniruhusu tu niwaambie ukweli, kwa sababu tunataka kusaidia watoto wengi waende shuleni na wasome. Mimi ni mkufunzi, huyu ni mkufunzi, na zote tunataka watu wasome.
Na ule sayana passenger na isoma passenger na sinyo oro yoba ni gini kisoma.
Is that now the government are very, very robust on this. There is an anti-FGM Act of 2011. Yeah, that was enacted on 30th September 2011. So the government is really working so hard to ensure that this FGM is not there. But the problem is, I think due to the facility of the land, some areas have no access to these campaigns. Seeing this campaign here is a blessing, and it's also going to be very educative to our young generations. We are going to have an experience, a change. We are not saying it's not there completely, but we are working so hard to ensure that it's not going to be there in the future.
Though the people continue to struggle with identifying the rightful place of the woman and when to engage on sensitive talks, especially about sex and the reproductive health. These talks they consider sensitive, but women and children step out to come later.
Unataka ile imekatwa ama ile haijakatwa? Sema tu. Hakuna shida. Hakuna sehemu inaandikwa. Na wewe? Ile haijakatwa. Wewe amesema anataka ile haijakatwa. Wewe amesema ile imekatwa, na wewe? Wewe yoyote kama imekatwa ni sawa. Kama haijakatwa ni sawa.
When men are asked if they could marry uncircumcised girls,
preferably my preference, I think love is blind, so I don't mind kama amecircumcisewa ama hajacircumcisewa, because that's a tradition that used to be there, and people a lot of my age group, people around my size, a lot of them maybe half percent or maybe wame experience ama wamejionea mtu mwenye amefanyiwa. So we have cases wenye wamefanyiwa, and it's not good to discriminate a girl because of the practices zenye zimekuwa zikifanywa traditionally.
Hao watu usiona kata wanafunika, si ndio? Inakuja inajifunika vile mama amesema inajifunika. Ikijifunika kuzani shida.
Despite the discomfort, this meeting signifies elements of tangible gains. Girls are staying in schools longer, their health safeguarded. Women are stepping into new roles and their voices growing stronger.
Pata mafunzo mazuri. Kwa sasa Wamasai hawafanyi hiyo kazi kabisa. Wameacha kukeketa wasichana na wameacha pia kupeana watoto wao wakiwa wadogo. Wasichana wanapata masomo na wanapata elimu na kuja kusaidia familia zao.
In a groundbreaking move, women in Morijo are now receiving land, equal parcels alongside men for the first time in Maasai history.
Hata sisi wamama tumehesabika kwa Mungu, tuko na land, kila mtu na parcel yake. Mzee ako na parcel yake na mama ako na parcel yake. Na hiyo tunasema ya kwamba Mungu ametukubalia ama Mungu ametupa kibali katika familia ambazo tunaishi. Tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu katika Masaini sometime nakosana na mzee anakuambia nenda kwenu na usirudi tena kwangu, lakini kwa sasa tunafurahi kwa sababu unaambiwa nenda kwenu, unaingia kwa shamba yako, ndakaa kwa muda, mnaposikizana tena mnarudi kukaa pamoja.
When the land adjudication was done in this land, I am glad that I have also gotten a piece of land. I have my own personal farm. My sons have got their own farms.
Empowerment is breaking the cycle of violence, and as women gain assets and education, cases of gender-based violence subside. The community is rewriting the narrative, challenging early marriages and other harmful practices.
Ukitahidi ni kama umefika kila mahali, pia masomo. FGM ni hatari sana. Unaona watu wengi wenye wamepitia hiyo process, wako na watoto, wengine wameoleka.
These efforts need to go beyond the law. I think it's important that we have dialogue with these communities. Let's not use a top-down approach. Let's use a community-led approach where we have communities really being involved in this discourse, raising concerns and perspectives on how this can be addressed. Because FGM, whether we like it or not, it's a cultural issue. It's a cultural issue, and communities who experience these problems also know solutions to these problems, and let's not leave them behind in this conversation.
These cases are not unique to the Maasai community. They extend to the global stage with a growing number of FGM cases conducted in hospitals, the very same spaces where correctional surgeries are conducted.
Now as we talk, there are over 2.1 million children that have been circumcised in the last days. So 2.1 million young girls have been circumcised in the last days. Not only here in Kenya, but worldwide. And you know, UN, UNICEF, and we have Kenya signed the UN Charter in 2017 to end FGM worldwide, and many other countries. I think there were 89 countries that signed the UN Charter to end FGM completely.
The journey is far from over, yet the road ahead looks promising.
There are hospitals that are doing reconstruction surgery. We have one in Eldoret, and they do over 200 reconstruction surgeries every year, so that mothers may give birth without any pain, and mothers may also have a love life with their partners without, even girls with their partners without any pain.
Denying the girl child a chance to education, denying the girl child a chance to own a land, are some of the struggles that the Maasai women have been going through for ages and ages. But they are saying no to these traditions that are heinous to the rights of the girl child. And together, they have come to make sure that they loop in their men so that, they can have this conversation towards ending this vice. And they are open to speak about the difficulties that they go through, especially for those that have undergone the cut.
The question is, do we do that? Because like the place we have visited in Morijo, Old Tarakwai and Narosora, it is being practiced, and you see they know it, but they are afraid to shout. Because if we really follow the course on how to deal with this problem, it will be very easy to punish everyone who is informed and doesn't inform the authorities. That is the biggest challenge that we have. But the law is very clear that everyone who knows it or everyone who practices it is liable for punishment.
Change takes time. Some still cling to the old ways, and the threat of secret cutting remains. Yet, with every conversation, every public declaration, Morijo moves closer to a future where girls grow up free from harm and women stand as equals.
Kina mama hoye! Kina mama hoye! Wa mama wa Morijot hoye! Wa mama wa Loita hoye! Wa mama wa Maa hoye! Isn't this progress that is worth celebrating? That we're talking about a different era where the Ma ladies are saying no to female genital mutilation. The Ma ladies now have a chance to go to school and send their girls to school. The Ma ladies are equally celebrating the fact that they now own pieces of land, and now they are moving from spaces where they have been experiencing tight moments in society. And they are saying that they appreciate the heavens, but equally appreciate the government for the commitment to giving back power to the girl child. Reporting for TV47 in Morijo, Loita, Narok County, my name is Linda Alela.